Good evening. My name is John, and this is the Homestead Diary. I am going on a walk through the woods to show you all what we've been doing, the past week or so, something like that, off and on. We've had this little project going on where we were incredibly blessed to have some neighbors who had decided that they were going to sell their house, offer us part of their Nigerian dwarf goat herd for sale on payments. Absolutely amazing, because we love goats and we love Nigerian dwarf goats, and we really love just hanging out with them. They're funny creatures, a lot of good stuff to be around, and only problem is they require fencing. And so what we've been doing is building fence, and you can probably see part of it there, nice and straight, shooting into the woods. We've had to kind of improvise and do makeshift stuff in sort of a meantime thing. We set up a bunch of stock panels, which are 16 foot by 50-inch steel panels, welded rod, basically together. You can probably see a bit of that here. And this stock panels make it easy to do a quick fence, because you can set them up in minutes. Just knock a couple T-posts in the ground, and you got a panel that's up. Hello, goats. Saying hi to goats. Lots and lots of goats. Hello, ladies. And so, in order to receive the goats, we did set up a pen made of stock panels. I think we used maybe 20 of them, something like that. Not the cheapest option. We happened to have them on hand. Brought them all the way from Mariota, Oregon. And totally worth it, because one of those things goes for about $30 these days. And so anyway, we have been running fence along the property line and tearing out old fencing that was here. I guess it's probably common practice and not surprising, given the difficulty of getting rid of old fencing, that there were 4 layers of fencing, one set of welded wire, and then multiple layers of barbed wire stretched across these trees. And we just came in and pulled it all out and just made it fresh and new. Where we could, we left some strands of barbed wire. It's kind of hard to see because it's about dusk time, but we left some of the barbed wire where it was still good and tight and useful. But for the most part, it all came out, which is fine. We're trying to give things a new, fresh face. And so I don't know how many of y'all have ever strung wire before, but something that we did in order to get it good and tight, because not tight wire the animals will climb right over, is we simply took a 2x4 and we threaded it through the wire, link by link all the way through, and then hooked up a ratchet strap and just cranked down on it as hard as we could, got it good and tight. And then when that one was maxed out, we put another one on there and maxed that one out and loosened it and back and forth. You can do a similar thing with the come along, but with the attachment of the come along to the board is a bit more problematic. And just doing a single strap is super easy to do. It probably takes about the same amount of time to do that versus rigging up a thing to pull it with the come along. But this works. It's simpler. Come alongs are, you can exert a tremendous amount of tension on a fence, but I think this works just fine. Anyway, it's kind of cool. We're getting to fence off part of our property, which we haven't really used, haven't spent that much time in because of the insects. But hey, last night we had a nice frost. I think it was down to 28 degrees and predicted to get down to 27 tonight. So not a super hard frost, but enough to kind of knock the bug population down. It has been dwindling in recent weeks and whatnot, recent months actually. But this is nice, and it's nice to finally feel the crisp autumn air. I think I enjoy wintertime here a bit more than summertime, because you can always put more clothing on, but you can only take so much off. And it grows tiresome drinking a couple gallons of water a day, although that's good for you. I know the body needs it, sort of thing. Anyway, we're going to end up fencing probably about an acre and a quarter for these critters. We've got 18 of them over here. And I know that's not a huge amount of space for a Nigerian dwarf goat, but it's wintertime and the foliage is dwindling anyway. And so we're going to be feeding hay anyway. And so this will give them a place to roam, and they can eat down all the briars and the poison ivy and all that kind of stuff. I heard someone tell me once that a goat that eats poison ivy, if you milk it, then that will help strengthen your body against poison ivy. I don't know if that's just an old wives' tale. I'm sure that science wouldn't dare confirm anything like that, because then they couldn't sell you expensive drugs to handle poison ivy. So that